Hey, this is Jack Downs, the little Photoshop video about the size your own photo exercise and some general information. I did not really give you any tech stuff in class because I wanted you to have time for your quiz and also because we've gone over some of this before. But I'll give you a couple other little hints and things too. Um, First of all, let's just say I'm in Photoshop and I have a photo up right now that I want to prepare for my website. Um, And I want to make sure that anything I do, I don't disturb the original, right? And in the case of your assignment, you have to make 3 copies of each photo, each sized for the web at different sizes. I think I say 300 pixels wide, 400 pixels wide, 500 pixels wide, right? This is a photo of one of my plots at the community garden. You may not know, but I help run the community garden here in Plattsburgh. I'm the chair of the community garden. So I decided I'm going to put that on my website. Good. But I might decide that first of all, I might want to crop it because, this maybe it's a little bit too vertical or something or some other reason. So if you want to crop your photo, I suggest you go to the cropping tool over here, click on the cropping tool, and then you have choices here. You probably want to go, in this case, if you're just changing the shape of it, go to ratio. Okay? I'm going to go to ratio, and I'm just going to start to change the amount I'm showing, maybe. Maybe I'll go a little bit higher than that. Maybe I'll say something like that. I don't know. Whatever. Something like that, maybe. And let me say that I did that or I changed it some other way. When I'm ready, when I accept the crop, I can double click and it will accept the crop. I didn't really change the file size very much, though. But maybe there's two other things I want to mention that I haven't mentioned before. What are some very basic things you could do to potentially improve your photo? By the way, if you know Photoshop, you probably know a lot more than me about this. But there's just a couple of very basic things. I would say image adjustments levels is a good place to start. When I look at the levels here, I can see there's this gap. And when I click on auto, I can see it goes away. And the photo it does brighten, but it just resets the mid-tone area. I could notice that I didn't quite have all the dark area grabbed in here with that connector. I could grab the mid-tone is how I would do this. I would change it if I want to make it simply a little lighter or darker, change where the midtones are. Maybe I'll change it a little bit. So auto may improve it. If it does, good. If you want to make it change it a little more, grab the middle slider a little bit maybe. And I'll just say okay to that. What else? You could, for instance, here's another second. I'll only show you these 2 things. Very easy thing to do is filter, sharpen, and I like to use unsharp mask. Now, if I can click in the photo someplace and I can see that area, this is a pretty high amount, 90 something. I could bring it down a little bit if I thought it was getting too over sharpened. I can play with the other bits a little bit here too if we want to see how it changes things. I don't think we're going to see much difference with these. So I'm just going to say cancel. I'm going to go back to, because I don't want to disturb those settings. Filter, sharpen, unsharp mask. I'm going to bring it down a little bit maybe, and I'll just say okay. And it might make it slightly sharper. Some photos you might see much difference. Don't do anything that makes the photo look worse. Okay, that's one of the rules. I'm going to go to my regular selection tool now because I'm not cropping anymore. And now I'm going to do what is really the point of the exercise, which is saving it and resizing it at the same time. So I'm going to do File, Export, Save for Web Legacy. That's what we do. File, Export, Save for Web Legacy. And when we get to there, we always want it to be on JPEG. It may start as GIF or something else. Your menus may be slightly different depending on what version of Photoshop, but it's basically the same thing. And here's the key place down here. As long as you first set it on JPEG, JPEG high as a preset or JPEG is fine. You're going to change the image, the width, because I wanted you to make a 300 wide, a 400 wide, a 500 wide. Let's say I'm going to start with a 500. I put 500 in here, and notice the width and the height are linked together, which is good because I'm not editing it. I'm not changing the proportions. So when I put in the width, it sets the height automatically. And that number will be different depending on whether it's a vertical or horizontal or things like that. Now I don't have to do anything else. I just say save. And it's going to essentially give me a save as. And this is where I would call this one Jack 1 hyphen 500, if this was the 500 wide. And this one was 500 wide. And then I would do the same process. I would say, okay, then I would start over. Well, I wouldn't start over with the crop. The crop, I don't have to do again. The toning, maybe, the image adjust, I don't have to do that again. The filter, unsharp mask, I wouldn't have to do that again. Just this last process of save for web. File, export, save for web legacy, and then I would choose a different number, not 500 wide. The next one would be 400. Then do it again. The next one would be 300. And each time I would change the name of the photo to match that. And then I would go on with the next one. Now, if you look at your photo at the beginning and you say, I don't want to change the shape of it, and I think it's perfect already, I don't have to do any toning or anything, then you just do that. So there you go. Hope that was helpful.